Hey, Trip. Hey, how you doing? Appreciate. You're going to do great. Appreciate you being here.
I'm excited to be here.
Thanks very much. Be sure and get some good cue before you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. You hear okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Pull that cable back over your shoulder if you don't mind.
It's like game day for me.
Yeah. And hi and welcome live from Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. Welcome into our Baylor Coaches Show this week. Glad you're with us this evening. Great crowd here at Rudy's. Appreciate those of you that are tuned in, watching, streaming, watching on television, or listening on the radio. We do appreciate you being here with us this evening. John Morris, and let me welcome in our first guest this evening. Welcome in Baylor receivers coach and passing game coordinator, Coach Frisman Jackson is with us this evening. Coach, welcome. Appreciate you being here.
I'm excited to be here.
Thank you very much. Yes. I appreciate that. Some guys, okay, I'll be there. I'll do this.
Well, it's hard to turn down some good-smelling barbecue.
Ooh,
I can't wait to taste it.
That is the plus. That is the plus about being here. Appreciate it. Back in action this Saturday at Rice, first road game of the year. Open date last Saturday, and I've been real careful not to say an off week.
Yeah.
Because you guys got it was not an off week, was
no
it?
Such thing in football.
Right.
It was just another opportunity for our guys to get better, and I think we did that this week. Coach pushed the guys, pushed us as coaches, and, didn't want us to sit there and be complacent. We looked at ourselves, self-scouted ourselves, and saw what we did well, what we needed to fix, and I thought the guys went out and did that this week.
It's really a great opportunity, isn't it, to have that extra time to still work hard, but then you got a little extra time to sort of work on yourself before you focus in on Rice.
Yeah, and it was a chance for guys to get healthy and, take care of their bodies and get healed up and get ready for this stretch that we're about to go down here in the next 4 or 5 games.
Some people may think open date after 2 games in the year, that's too early. It's kind of a wasted open date, but it really wasn't. I mean, any open date, any time of the year is good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it gives guys a chance to get healthy. It gives guys a chance for ourselves as coaches to self-scout ourselves, see what we're doing well, and see what things that we need to fix. And you get to see those things early, and we got to see them early and make some corrections and make some changes, so it was a good week for us.
You said something early on that Coach Rule pushed everybody, pushed the players, includes pushing you guys.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
he can do that, can't he?
Oh, yeah. He holds us to the higher standards. He expects great things from elite standard from our players, and he expected from us. And, if we can't do it, then how can we expect the players to do it? So I love the fact that he pushes us. It's made me a better coach. It's made our coaches better, and it helps our players and helps develop our players.
I think you guys have done that through the first 2 games. Competition, Stephen F. Austin, UTSA, nothing against them. You're going to play tougher teams coming up. But you guys had that standard, your standard, that you wanted to meet no matter who's, opposing you.
Yeah, I mean, we try not to look at the scoreboard. All we focus on is ourselves. That's what coaches preach since the moment I've been with them, is just focus on ourselves. Don't worry about who's across from us. And I think the first 2 games, our guys did that. They didn't care who was in front of us. It could have been the New England Patriots. It didn't matter.
Right.
We were just going to focus on ourselves and try to get better and play our best football. No matter what the scoreboard said, we wanted to play good football. And I think the guys did that for the most part, first 2 games.
What's your background go back to with Coach Rule? Is it Temple or is it before that?
Yeah, I was with Coach at Temple his last 2 years at Temple.
Okay.
I had the pleasure of joining him and a bunch of the guys that were there, and we had a heck of a run, and we ended up here at Baylor, and it's been a great situation for us.
Yeah, very much so. What about the receivers that you get to work with? We'll talk about these guys, not individually, but we'll talk about them as a group first off. I mean, that's a great group. You got a bunch of guys that are very talented. I mean, you got a lot of options.
Yeah, and I've been around where I didn't have a lot, so I'm appreciative of the guys that I have. And I got a great group of guys that come out to work every single day. They push each other, which is great. I don't have to do much as far as pushing them and twisting their arms to practice and compete, and they do those things on their own. They hold each other to standards that, that we want in our program, the elite standard, and our guys go out there and they're competitive, they're tough, and they're hard, and they work their butts off, and that's all I can ask for as a coach.
What can you tell us about the kind of the atmosphere in your room, in the receivers room? What can you tell us about that?
we joke around.
Right.
Coach Bell likes to call it Club Frisman.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's good
Club
to know.
Club Frizz. Because I try to keep it light in the room with the guys.
Right.
I'll get after them if it's time to get after them, but I try to keep it light and keep all the guys interested in what's going on. But we have a lot of fun in the receiver room. They get on me, they talk, they crack jokes on me, and I'll get after them and crack jokes on them. So we have a lot of fun in the room.
You can do that as long as everybody's working
Yeah.
and doing their job, and they're focused on when it's time to work. It's time to work.
It's time to work, and that's what I tell those guys, and that we understand that. Hey, when we're going, we're going. When we get a chance to kind of clown around and joke around a little bit, we want to have fun. We don't want to be silly.
Right.
And so that's our focus. We're going to have some fun. We're going to crack some jokes, but we're not going to be silly and obnoxious. And we do that in our room.
All right, I'm trying to think, the guys in that room, trying to figure out who would be the biggest joker in the room. Is there one in particular?
Taekwon.
Taekwon, really?
Thornton.
Okay.
He's got a little stuff to him when he cracks jokes and stuff.
All right.
Oh, man.
And he's a young guy, too.
Yeah, he's young. With Fleeks, all the young guys, they got a
really?
little bit to him. Yeah, Fleeks got a little mouth on him a little bit here, and those two guys, they really push each other and talk trash to each other and get the other guys riled up.
That's good. Does the conversation ever go to who's the fastest among those guys?
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
That's every single day they talk
Every
about
day.
who's the fastest. They're watching tape like, oh, I beat you right there. I'm the fastest here. I mess around with the older guys and say that Taekwon is the fastest one.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And from time to time, I'll just pick random guys, that they wouldn't imagine that. I'll say, R.J. Sneed is the fastest one in the room, or J-Red is the fastest one in the room. So I'll pick random guys and say this guy's the fastest one in the room, and they get all riled up and start arguing. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
That's pretty good. If you seriously wanted to measure speed on these guys, would you do it in a 40? Would you do it in some other way? Or what?
Well, I'll do it in the 40. They would want to do it in the 40
because
that's what everybody loves.
Okay.
I like to look at the first 10 yards and see who wins there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because most of your routes are in the first 10 yards.
Yeah.
So I look at those first 2 yards, and I'll stop the tape and say, hey, man, this guy getting you now. Y'all both started at the line of scrimmage. He's got you. So I'll judge them off the first 10 yards, but they all want to go the 40-yard dash.
I'm sure that's true. That's an age-old conversation, and talking back and forth, who's the fastest.
Oh, no question.
Especially among receivers.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. It's been like that since I've been coaching receivers, since I've been playing receiver. Everybody thinks they're the fastest.
Yeah, very good. Well, it's a good group. It really is a deep group that you have, and that gives you so many options, I would think, about – who's in at a particular time, and you really can't go wrong sometimes with whoever's out there.
It does. It gives me an opportunity to rotate guys, rotate a lot of guys. I try to rotate 6-7 guys a game and get those guys in there. And, I have confidence and faith in all the guys that whoever's in there, they're going to be able to have the ability to make the play. And that's what I tell those guys. If you're in there, the expectation is for you to make the play. We don't talk about who's starting, who's number one and all that. I just say whoever's in there at that opportunity in that moment, go make the play. Everybody's a starter, and so that's the approach that I take. That's the approach that our group takes. We all, the guys say, we all gonna eat. So I'm not worried about my stats or anything like that. We all gonna eat. So if we continue to have that type of attitude, I think we can do some really good things this year.
That's great. If you can foster that attitude among your guys, that it's all for one and one for all, team, and doesn't matter about your individual stats. That's a great atmosphere.
No question.
Yeah.
No question. And it goes a long ways with the guys. You can kind of hide some of the stuff. Guys, everybody want to catch a ball. Everybody want to catch a touchdown pass. But if guys have the mentality that, I can run this guy off, I'm going to get somebody else open because I know later on in the game he's going to run somebody off and get me open. And if we can all do that and understand that we all going to eat, if everybody does their job, then we'll be fine.
How nice was it to be able to sub in and out all those guys as hot as it was, that game against UTSA?
Yeah, I rolled a lot of guys in. Coach Rule, stressed throughout the whole week, hey, we're going to get everybody ready to play. Everybody has an opportunity to play. And so I was able to roll 7, 8 guys in, got some of the younger guys in that were able to play, and it was fun to see those guys go out there and compete and run around. And so when you have a deep group, you can do those things. And I have a fairly deep group, and I trusted those guys to go out there and do the job.
That was hot.
Yeah,
it was hot that day. How hot was it standing on the sidelines?
It was pretty warm, but see, I'm wearing my game day attire. This is what I wear on game day, so this is normal for me. I don't mind the hot.
It doesn't bother you, really?
It doesn't bother
Not
me.
Even that day?
No. I was standing there. I had the sweatshirt on and the pants, and I was good to go.
Oh, man. Was that as hot a game as you've ever been a part of?
Yeah.
Or can you remember any others?
That was about the hottest game I've been a part of. Yeah. I'm glad I wasn't playing.
Middle of the day, 3 p.m. kickoff, that added to it. You guys finally got some some shade on
Yeah,
your
we was on our
sideline,
side.
which
Yeah,
was
it was
huge.
good, yeah.
That was a big home
No
field
question.
advantage right
you
there.
want home field advantage, that's home field advantage.
UTSA got shade like with a minute to go in the game.
Yeah, that's
when it
perfect.
reached
That's
their,
what it's supposed to be, home field advantage.
reached their sideline. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more in a moment. Coach Frisman Jackson is with us tonight, wide receivers coach, passing game coordinator. We'll ask him what that means, passing game coordinator. We'll talk about that when we come back. Hey, we're glad you're with us this evening. We're live at Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue, and we're back on the Baylor Coaches Show right after this. Shout out. It's a nice title is what it is.
Yeah, it's a nice title.
Yeah, okay, that's coming. That question's coming. So be prepared. Hey, man, how are you? Satisfied Rudy's customer. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of warm in here.
My ears sweating a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. These lights.
Yeah.
Truett. You're back with us live from Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. Welcome in our Baylor Coaches Show as we are with you on this Thursday evening. Brought to you by Jim Turner Chevrolet of McGregor, the official Chevy dealer of Baylor Athletics, your Central Texas Chevy truck headquarters. Save over $13,000 with supplier pricing on a 2019 Silverado 1500 LT Texas Edition. Stop in today or visit online at turnerchevy.com for the best deal on your new Chevrolet. Back with us, John Morris. Frisman Jackson is with us, wide receivers coach. I think I have a pretty good handle on that.
Yeah.
Also, passing game coordinator, which
Yeah.
is new this year.
Yeah.
What does that entail?
Well, the offensive guys get on me about this. They always crack jokes on me about it. But no, I just oversee some of the passing game. I just help the offensive coordinators. Hey, I feel good about this route concept. I feel good about that route concept. And I try my hardest to get it in. And on game day, they may ask me a couple of questions about, hey, do you feel good about this route? So it's nothing special.
Yeah.
But it's an important job nevertheless.
Yeah.
So
what's that working relationship like between you and quarterback Glenn Thomas, Jeff Nixon, the other offensive coaches? You guys all working together as one.
Well, I've worked with Coach Thomas before. We worked together at Temple when he was the offensive coordinator there and quarterbacks coach. And Coach Nixon, met him last year, and we worked together last year. Last year was our first year working together. But we got a great offensive staff, man. I think we have one of the best offensive staffs in the country as far as experience, as far as knowledge of the game. I mean, you got Coach DeLeon in there, who's got the most experience of any coach probably in college football. But I think we got a great offensive staff, and we work well together. We argue, which is good.
Yeah.
Everybody wants their play to go in, which is good. Yeah. But we come to a conclusion at the end, and we find out that what's the best place for our players is going to get them an opportunity to make a play. And so we work very, very, very well together. And Coach pushes us and expects a lot from us on offense, and hopefully we can continue to get the job done.
You say argue. I would say constructive conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
Well, they may say argue with me because I probably got the loudest voice in the room.
yeah.
I tend to speak loudly over the guys.
That works in your favor then, doesn't it? But that's not a bad thing, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
you've got your opinions and sometimes strong opinions, and probably everybody else does too, and you just want to get your thoughts in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. They probably say, Frizz, they probably want to tell me shut up more times than not. But you know, we do a great job, man, putting the game plan together. Coach oversees it. He comes in and say, hey, man, I like this, I like that, I don't like this, I don't like that, and we just I think we do a very, very good job of putting together a game plan for the guys to be able to go out there and execute.
And everybody has a hand in that.
Everybody has
plan?
a voice. Everybody has a hand.
Right.
Everybody has an opinion, and we'll come together and everybody will throw opinions. We call it Googling. Everybody will Google and throw out different things that they like and what they saw on tape. And at the end of the day, we'll come up with a game plan that we feel like is the best for our guys.
Yep. All right, let me just ask about some of the guys individually. You mentioned a couple of them already, or more than a couple. But Denzel Mims, back this year, had a 3-touchdown game last time out. Nice to have him back, and he seems really, really motivated to have a strong senior season.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he had his best training camp since I've been around him. He came ready to work. He was motivated. He had a renewed sense of energy. I think I've said this before about him. He had a renewed sense of energy about himself. He's taking coaching. He's been attacking everything. He earned a single digit, which I was very proud of him for doing that. And so he's come out with a mindset like, man, I'm going to go attack this thing. I want to be the alpha dog. And it's been fun watching him go out there and do that.
Yeah, single digit, that's great. I mean, that shows, what you guys think about him, shows what his teammates think about him also.
More importantly, what the teammates think about him.
Yeah.
They vote on it. And when your guys vote on you and say you're one of the toughest guys on the team, that means something. And so it also means you have a standard that you got to uphold. And he's going out there every single day and worked his butt off to try to uphold that standard.
Great to have Chris Platt back this year,
Yeah.
For another year after the injury. It's great to see him back out there.
Yeah. This is about his 10th year, I think. He's tenured. He's tenured on campus.
Yeah, he is.
As long as he's been here. But it's great to have him, man. He's a voice of reason in the room. When the young guy's starting to get a little bit too much, he'll kind of lock everybody back in. He comes to work every single day, man. He has a workman's mentality. He puts on that hard hat and he goes to work every single day. And I love having him in the room, having that veteran presence in there, a guy that you trust that's been in the battles already, and he can go out there and execute plays, and you don't have to worry about him being afraid of the situation or the moment being too big for him because he's been in them all.
Yeah. You gave him he had a touchdown. You had a receiver around that he got a touchdown against UTSA.
Yes, sir.
It's good to get him in the end zone.
Yeah, just trying to get him as many touches as possible because when he gets the ball in his hand, he's pretty explosive. And so, we just want to get the ball in his hands in space, let him be able to do his thing, and he'll run past a lot of people. And so we want to get him an opportunity to do those things.
All right, you mentioned a couple of the young guys, Tyquan Thornton, Josh Fleeks, Jared Atkinson. It's a long list, which we talked about. I mean, it's a great group of guys you have.
Yeah, and R.J. Sneed. I mean, all these guys have had a really good camp, and it's carried over to the season. And if they continue to do those things, and we have a routine about how we go about our business every week, and if they continue to follow that routine, if they continue to trust the process and believe in the process and work hard on the process, that we have a bright future and they have a bright future. And they can't stray from the process. They got to just continue to work on the process. And I think they'll do those things.
Coach Frisman Jackson is with us, Baylor receivers coach, passing game coordinator. Also, you're native of Chicago, right?
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Love Chicago.
City of broad shoulders.
I love Chicago. You get back often? You have family there?
Yeah. I got some cousins that stay there. My mom actually stays out in Arizona, but I got some cousins, some friends back there. My wife and I will go back and we'll visit. We took the kids back this summer, and this is the first time they've been old enough to kind of understand what Chicago's all about. So they keep claiming they're from Chicago.
Oh, they do?
No, they say, oh, I'm from Chicago. I'm like, no, y'all not from Chicago. I'm from Chicago.
All right.
Papa, they call me Papa. Papa's from Chicago, but y'all not from Chicago.
That's funny.
We have a good time when we go back there.
I need to go in the summer.
Summertime Chicago's nice now.
We went in the winter a couple of years ago, and it was like record colds up there.
It's brutal in the winter.
It was brutal for sure, but it was still fun.
Yeah,
it was still great being
there. Well, it's
there.
the reason why they call it the Windy City. You'll find out in the winter.
Yeah, exactly. Let me ask you this, and then we'll go to a break. And this came from some of your friends on the coaching staff. They said to ask you about your history as a fantasy football, just a stud in fantasy football. Do you know what they're talking about?
I know exactly what they're talking about. I shouldn't have told them that story.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Well, they know it,
try
believe
to remind me of it all the time.
They know it.
I'll try to make it quick.
All right,
so,
what year was this?
2005.
Okay.
I was playing with the Browns.
Okay.
First game of the year, I had it was the best game of my career.
8 for 128
yeah, 8
and
for
a touchdown.
128 for a touchdown. And so after that game, I was the highest pickup in fantasy football history. Like 90% of the people in fantasy football picked me up.
The highest ever.
Highest ever.
That's great.
Still to this day.
Right.
Okay. The next game we played the Packers at Lambeau, I had 1 catch for 5 yards. I was the highest dropped person in the history of fantasy football.
1 week later.
1 week later. So I'm the holder of both records.
Wow, man.
And so still to this day, they'll say on talk radio or whatever, people send it to me, don't pull a Frisman Jackson and grab a guy after 1 week that he have a good game. Wait till the season starts, then start moving and shuffling your roster around.
Man.
Yeah.
It's
so
like
word to the wise. Don't pick up a guy after the first week and when he has a good game.
There you go.
Especially an unknown.
So you're like, it's like a verb.
Yeah, it's a verb.
Don't do a Frisman Jackson.
Don't pull a Frisman Jackson. Definitely
That's
a verb.
Great.
Yeah.
That's very, and you still hear about it. It still pops up every once in a while.
All the time when it's come fantasy football season. All the time.
Oh, that's great. That's a great story.
Yeah, I'm like, let it go. It's been 14 years.
Yeah, exactly. We're past that now.
Yeah,
we should be.
No doubt.
That's great. All right, appreciate you sharing that story.
No problem.
Thanks very much. And your friends on the coaching staff.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
And this
I know
guy
who
over
it
here.
was. I know exactly who the guys were.
Okay. All right, very good. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more in a moment. It's the Baylor Coaches Show. We're live at Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. Coach Frisman Jackson with us, and we'll be back with more right after this. Thank you. Yeah, real one. Huh? Okay, good. Oh, yeah, please do. Yeah. That's a great story. Who do you think told me?
Probably Coach Rule.
No, he didn't.
Joey?
It wasn't him. It was him
Oh,
first.
Yeah, Joey, yeah.
And then somebody else jumped in. Thank you.
It was because I told Joey that. Joey actually, I showed Joey, my cousin sent it to me last year. And it was on Sports Talk Radio last year. My cousin sent it to me. And I showed Joey. I was like, man, look at this. This been 14 years later. He's still talking about this.
That much
and
later.
So he's been telling everybody about it. So.
That's great. He was first, and then Glenn jumped in.
Oh,
too.
Glenn?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
see, them guys off.
Mild-mannered Glenn jumps in with that.
Any chance he get a chance to poke me, he'll do it. Because I'm always messing with him.
That's great. Yeah. Those kids see themselves on TV. How old are your kids?
Oh, man, 4 and 7.
Okay.
There's my daughter right there.
Oh, okay.
Coming from ballet class.
Ballet. I think. 30. All right, we got a couple of questions from the audience. Wide receiver. Very good. Okay.
Thank you.
Back with us live from Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. Appreciate our host here at Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue. Nick is around somewhere. Nick Rodriguez is here as our guest, host, manager this evening. So appreciate Nick and all the folks here at Rudy's. You're back with us, and Frisman Jackson is our special guest this first half hour. This evening, Paul Jobson will be with us the second half hour, Baylor soccer coach. Coach, we've got some questions from the audience.
Okay.
How about that? You good for that?
I'm ready.
I know you can handle these. They're brought to you by First Place Foods. The First Place Foods Ask the Coach. That's a darn good pickle. So we've got some Hunn's private stock pickles available for folks who ask these questions. Will, you got them ready? All right, so here is the first one. It is from Steve Van Wagner. Okay. Steve is right here. He's got the Baylor green and gold on. Steve says, do you feel you're ahead of your goals so far this year?
Well, we probably won't find that out till after the season. We got some goals we have in store for ourselves as a program, and we won't know if we accomplish those goals till the season's over with. So we don't want to look and say, hey, man, we're ahead of it. We're right. We feel like we're right where we are, and we just want to take it one game at a time and go from there.
It's a good approach. Yep. So lot to accomplish this year for sure.
Definitely.
Very good. All right. Here's a question from Jessica Bancali. She is right over there. See in the middle is Jessica. She says, it's going to put you on the spot a little bit. Which wide receiver do you feel has made the most improvement this season?
R.J. Snead. R.J. Snead.
Yeah.
A guy that redshirted last year. He came to spring ball on a mission. He came to fall camp on a mission, and so far this season he's came and he's played. And I expect him to have a great year this year. He's been determined to go out there and play his best football, and he's determined to go out there and prove to everybody he can play football at this level, and he's been doing that so far this season.
We saw it with him in fall camp, and we've seen it in the games this year.
Yep.
Everybody just kept raving about the catches he makes,
Yes,
and high points the ball and everything. And we've seen it in the games.
Yeah,
That's been on display.
Yeah, he's making the spectacular catches look routine.
Yeah.
And he's got great hands, phenomenal hands, to the point where I'm telling the other guys in the room, like, y'all should be fighting RJ to say, no, I got the best hand. I'm going to out-catch RJ. That should be the goal. But he's had a heck of a camp, and he's carried it all over to the first 2 games of the season, and we expect him to do that for the rest of the year.
You would say that? I mean, you'd say he has the best hands of any of your guys?
Yeah, I think the other guys in the room would say he has the best
really?
hands. Yeah, oh, yeah.
That's
great. They argue about that just as much as they argue about who's the fastest. But the guys will admit, like, all right, RJ, you got the best hands in the room. And then Taekwon and the rest of those guys will probably be in there, that mix as well. That's
what you need.
Yeah.
Those are great. Good questions. Thank you all very much. Hunn's Private Stock Pickles, First Place Foods, Ask the Coach. Here with Coach Frisman Jackson. Let's talk about Rice a little bit. First road trip of the year.
Yep.
Coach Rule, every time he's asked about it, he said he likes to get on the road,
Yeah.
and it's a team, and you're together, and you circle the wagons. There's a lot to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just us against everybody else,
Yeah.
and it's something to that. And it's a chance for our guys to kind of test our guys and see how they're going to respond in a different environment. We don't have the home Baylor crowd to cheer us on and to help us and feed energy to us. We got to create it on our own, and we're in a different environment where we got to go out there and our backs against the wall, and we got to play good football. And we know no one's going to be rooting for us other than the people that come support us from Baylor. But we got to go out there and play good football, and we expect these guys to go out there and do that.
What can you tell us about Rice's defense?
They're physical. They're tough. They're smart guys. They're going to be in the right spots. They're not going to make mistakes. You're going to have to go out there and earn everything you want. And they played some really good opponents. I mean, they played Army well, who almost beat Michigan.
Yeah.
They played Texas hard. The depth of Texas started to take over towards the later part of the game. They played Wake Forest hard early on, so they're not afraid. They're not going to be afraid to play us.
Right.
They're not going to be afraid to play us. They faced big time competition before, but they're a well-coached team. I know Coach Bloomberg well. He was on the New York Jets staff when I was there with the New York Jets.
Okay.
So I have a relationship with him, but he's going to go out there and he's going to get those guys ready to play.
Yeah. And weather should be okay. I mean, they're getting hammered with rain right now, but it should be out by Saturday is what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're saying, but whether it's raining or sunny, we got to go out there and play. And we're going to prepare our guys for all inclements of the weather and just see what happens. We won't be distracted by the weather. We won't let the weather distract us. We just got to go out there and play.
That's great. Well, we look forward to it. Really appreciate you being here this evening. Thanks very much. Get you some barbecue before you take off.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, appreciate it, and good luck this weekend against Rice.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Coach Frisman Jackson with us, Baylor receivers coach and passing game coordinator. Appreciate him being here this evening, first half of our Baylor Coaches Show. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll shift things around. We'll welcome Coach Paul Jobson. When we come back, stay with us. It's the Baylor Coaches Show live from Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Can I get you to sign in back there?
Tell them you better wipe them off. They sweaty a little bit.
No problem. It's kind of warm. Is Paul here? I haven't seen him. Is Paul here? Okay. Do it over here somewhere. Balance it out. Everybody's signing on that one side. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Come on, Paul. Don't pull a hamstring, though. Don't hurry. Thank you. Appreciate it. See you. You too. It's a little warm. Good to see you. Thanks, man. This will be fun. want a paper towel? There's one right there. You want a paper towel? Okay. Yeah. KP?
Oops.
Good. You good?
I'm good.
Yeah, pull that behind you if you can.
What are we talking about today?
Same thing we usually talk about. We got a lot of time. We got 30 minutes.
All right, let's talk.
20 minutes. Is the whole crew here?
A whole crew is
Sweet.
here. Yeah. The original Coach Jobson's back there too somewhere.
The original.
Yeah.
Brought your own cheering section.
Yeah.
Look, they're on camera.
Oh, they know. Is it right there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Back with us live from Rudy's, our Baylor Coaches Show tonight. Appreciate Coach Frisman Jackson with us. And those of you that are watching on television, that is the Jobson family, the entire family that is here in support of Coach Paul Jobson, Baylor soccer coach. Coach, welcome to you.
Thanks,
Appreciate you being here.
Appreciate it. Good to be here.
Thank you very much. Thanks for bringing your own audience tonight.
Well, when we come in numbers.
You
No doubt about
show
it.
up. That's
Yeah,
right.
we do.
That's great. Well, that is a lot of fun. And you said the original Coach Jobson is here
She
somewhere
is.
back there.
The OG is back there.
Gotcha.
Back. Yep.
Gotcha.
With the crew.
The OG?
Yeah. Yeah, I won't go.
Okay. You brought it up. So since we're mentioning Marcy Jobson, let's talk about this right off the top. You are now the winningest coach in Baylor soccer history. You passed your wife, Marcy, a week or so ago. Congratulations on that. And I didn't bring it up in one of our conversations on the radio show just because I didn't want to create any disharmony in your wonderful
you heard
house.
about it.
And I heard about it from her.
Right, exactly.
You didn't bring it up. She brought
That's
it
right.
up. Yeah.
She's the most excited person about that probably than anybody. And
That's
I think
great.
what's funny is we keep saying we don't talk about it at home unless somebody else brings it up because we've been doing this together for almost 15 years, and we count all of that together. But I have said that lately she will join me in my wins, but she will not count my losses.
Yeah. That's good. She's got that right to do that
yes,
now,
she
right?
can do that.
That's great. Well, congratulations to you on that. That's a great accomplishment. And you add the Jobson's wins together, and you got that number way out there now.
Yeah, I mean, we've been blessed to be here. I mean, we've just been so blessed. This is, I think, year 12 here at Baylor, and it's crazy to think we've been here that long now, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. We've had our ups and our downs, of course, like anything, but we've been blessed to be here, and just the young women we've had the privilege of coaching have been fantastic, and we just couldn't be happier with what Baylor offers for not just us, but our family and the Waco community. It's been great.
Well, more ups than downs, especially recently. Back-to-back Elite Eight performances, trips for your team. Big 12 champs a year ago, Big 12 tournament champs 2 years ago. I mean, that's a lot of winning for your program.
There's been a lot of winning, and, I think what we hope is that we don't lose sight of what it took to get there. It takes a lot of bumps and bruises along the way, and sometimes we get focused on maybe the trophies and the accolades and forget what it is that got us there, and that's what we continue to do after successful seasons is, hey, let's think about the things that made us successful, and let's continue to do those things because we found a good formula. Let's stick with it, and not think just because we've started winning that we need to start changing a lot of things.
Yeah, very good. You got a big weekend ahead. Want to talk about that. You've got USC coming in on Friday night, now the number 2 team in the nation, but a team you knocked off a couple of years ago.
Yeah, 2017, we met them, I think, in the regional down in College Station, and were able to knock them off. They were the reigning national champions at the time, so that was a really, really fun win. I have to say for my assistant, Matt Smith, who went to the University of South Carolina, that it's Southern Cal, not
right.
USC.
Yeah, let's make that distinction.
I have to stand up for him in that. But yeah, fantastic team. I mean, they're number 2 in the country right now for a reason. Kadani, who I've known for a while, does a great job with that program, and obviously they have a national championship under their belt and continue to succeed on a lot of different fronts. But we're excited to have a team like that here in Waco, and we know that we can compete and have an opportunity to beat a team like that. We're a quality team ourselves.
and you said he called you. He approached you about coming to Waco to play. I mean, that's a real coup for you and your program to have, a coach, a program the stature of Southern Cal, wanting to come and play Baylor.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot just what, the legacy that the players before this group have left, that a team like that would want to come play us at home. And I think, coaches, when you're looking to build your schedule and get quality opponents on the road, you got to be careful how you schedule that. And it is, I'm doing the same thing when I'm looking to go on the road. It's got to be a quality opponent. And, those are conversations we weren't in for a long time for a lot of schools. So now to have a USC, reach out, and some other schools that are down the, a year or two down the road, we're also excited about doing the same thing. We really feel like we can get some quality opponents here in Waco now.
That's really a feather in your cap, really, to have them calling to come play here at Baylor. Can you tell us who those others are coming, or not really?
Not quite yet. The ink's not dry.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So USC, Southern Cal, Friday night, 6 o'clock at Betty Lou Mays Field. It is Scarf Night, which is always a big draw.
Yep.
I was told, KP told me that you would be wearing a scarf this evening.
Well, I would have, but I was going to wear it tomorrow night because it's going to be 80s. It's going to be chilly in the 80s tomorrow night.
It's going to be really chilly.
We're used to 100, 95, 100, so it's going to be in the 80s. I'll probably have a big jacket and my scarf on tomorrow night. So.
All right, so save the scarf for tomorrow night.
Save the scarf for tomorrow, right.
But that goes to who can get one of those tomorrow
night? First 500 that come through the gates will get a voucher that they can turn in, I believe, at halftime to get that. So you guys stay through the first half if you want your scarf. But I will say, I hear every year, man, I missed out on a scarf. What do I need to do? You need to get there early.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. That's right. All right, so there's a big draw. Baylor versus Southern Cal, number 2 in the nation tomorrow night. Scarf night. That's Friday night at Betty Lou Mays Field. Then Sunday, you turn around and play Gonzaga. Yep. And so tell me about Gonzaga. What's that challenge?
It's a tough weekend. We've got 2 quality opponents coming in. I'll tell you what, though, if we're not excited to be at home, we've been on the road quite a bit so far this season. If we can't get up for that, we can't get up for anything. But another quality opponent, they've had some great results against some Big 12 opponents or some of our Big 12 teams already this season, and we know they're a quality team. So it's hard for me to get too far ahead, obviously, because we've got the first team here on Friday, but a quality team, but 2 great opportunities at home to get some great results.
How do you do that? How do you balance? You got a big match on Friday. You got to turn around. You got another one on Sunday. Do you completely focus on the Friday night match and then turn your attention?
You do for a bit, and we have started not to turn our full attention, but we've got a great staff, and we divide things up a bit. So there's already somebody on staff who's kind of going ahead. That's Matt. He's kind of going ahead and watching a little bit of that so that we're not waking up Saturday morning and trying to figure out what Gonzaga is going to do. But so we divide and conquer a little bit. We've got a great staff that we can rely on them to do some of those things. So, but for me, I've kind of got to stay one at a time. I've looked ahead a little bit, but I want to make sure my team's the best prepared for the one that's coming up next.
That's great. And so Scarf Night on Friday and Sunday is Pups at the Pitch.
Pups at the Pitch.
Yeah.
I had to tell my team yesterday, hey, let's not look too far ahead and get excited about Pups at the Pitch till we look past Southern Cal. But that's a fun event, too.
Yeah. Ter, so Pups at the Pitch on Sunday. What do you think? Pups at the Pitch at soccer. Yeah, she's all over it. I don't know how I'm not sure our dogs are socially advanced enough to be able to. Our dog failed obedience school. He's got to do redo.
Redo?
Yeah, on obedience. Beginning obedience.
Well, I'm sure they'll take your money again to do that. No problem.
They offered free redo on the class.
Wow.
So he's not quite ready to be there. But that'll be fun. So Pups at the Pitch.
Yep, on Sunday.
On Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more in a moment. Coach Paul Jobson is with us, Baylor soccer coach. Big weekend ahead for Baylor soccer, and we've got more to talk about when we come back. Glad you're with us. We're live at Rudy's on the Circle in Waco, our Baylor Coaches Show, and we're back right after this. Oh, yeah. KP.
It's awesome. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, not having to run through holes and ditches and puddles.
I don't know how you weren't turning ankles all the time.
Well, I mean, we've got some great clips of kids just tripping on those.
Tell you what, when Little League was there, right there with where that low spot by your, I guess the south goal.
Yeah.
That was always a
same
hole.
Yeah. It just drops off there in that corner now, or used to.
What's going on here?
Paparazzi. Thank you. Rocky. I'm going to do this Baylor Scott and White health tip coming back. I'm going to do this health tip coming back first thing, okay? Marcy, how are you? That's a lot of energy right there.
Yeah.
That's great. Is Gonzaga pretty good?
Yeah, they're a good team.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're a good team.
Y'all don't have RPIs yet. That's not till...
They come out next week.
No, next week?
Yeah,
Okay.
so they'll come out Monday.
Okay.
Yeah. So went into a good week for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Our strength of schedule is pretty good.
It's got to be.
Yeah, so get some results here and there. We'll be doing pretty well.
Yeah.
So.
Welcome back. Our Baylor Coaches Show live from Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. Want to give you our Baylor Scott and White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics health tip for this evening. When it comes to orthopedics, Baylor Scott and White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics brings the home team advantage to Central Texans and is bringing tonight's sports tip to you. Recovery is the key to give you the strength and energy needed to continue to play at a high level. Keep up with proper nutrition, hydration, and make sure you're getting enough rest to allow your body time to recover. This message brought to you by Baylor Scott and White, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. From injury prevention to enhanced recovery, team up with us. And you're back with Baylor soccer coach Paul Jobson with us this evening. A big weekend ahead. Southern Cal on Friday night, Gonzaga on Sunday, both at Betty Lou Mays Field. Just a roaring crowd, fan support back there. That's
Absolutely.
nice.
Brought my own crew.
That's very, very, very nice. You mentioned y'all have been on the road a lot, and you really have. And part of it was by design. You took a like a 9-day road trip and did some training at altitude in Colorado.
Well, I think we were gone 11, 12 days. We saw an opportunity. We went up and played Drake in Nebraska on Labor Day weekend. Realized the girls didn't have class on Monday, and that next week we were going to turn around and leave on Thursday to go play Wyoming and Colorado at altitude. Saw an opportunity there, a minimal amount of classes being missed, and went through all the right channels, especially talking to my players about, hey, what do you think about missing some class for this? And had an opportunity. Left Nebraska Monday morning and flew to Colorado Springs and trained at Air Force for 3 or 4 days at altitude before going to 7,000 feet and playing at Wyoming.
Wow.
And I think it was a great thing for us to do. And while we were there, did some team building things while we were there, and it was really turned out to be a great trip. It was a long time to be away from home for sure, and has really put some miles on our bodies a bit, but I think in the long run it's been a really good thing for the team.
And the preparation at altitude, you were at the Air Force Academy, you felt like really helped you taking on Wyoming and Colorado.
Yeah, absolutely. And even, the week before we were there, while we were at Nebraska, actually, University of Texas was playing Denver and Colorado that weekend, and just seeing the difference between our players and theirs, them having gone up the day of or the day before, it was a big difference. And the coaches even commented, I don't think they realized we had been there all week, but how were you able to train? I'm like, well, we came up a few days early to get ready. So it takes about 72 hours or so to start getting acclimated. The first thing we did when we got off the bus is we went to a hike. It's called Incline, and it really is. You're going.
That's the name of it.
It's called Incline.
Incline?
Yeah, and it's 2,000 feet in a mile.
Oh, wow.
But we only did half of it,
okay.
Which was great because I don't think I personally could have handled another group of that. But you just feel your chest burning and you feel like you can't breathe, and you want to shock the system early because some of it is mental too, and you need to get your players through that, understand, hey, you're not going to die from this, but we're going to acclimate and we're going to be okay. And I think that really set the tone for the rest of the week of training.
Wow, that's great. And it was tough. I mean, people say, oh, yeah, you spend the week in Colorado, but it was tough. You got work in. It really was tough for your girls to miss that class that they missed.
Yeah, I mean, it was the second week of school, and I think, what people don't understand with our players is, their degree of study is very tough. I mean, we've got, we're pre-med, we're business scholars. I say we, but my girls are, top-end academic students, and the challenges and the rigors of class are tough, and so they take it very seriously. But, their commitment to the classroom allows them to be able to be on the road like that, because I'm not worried about curfew and the means of their going outside the hotel. Curfew is, hey, can you guys put the books away? You got to get some rest tonight. Just like your statement there, they've got to get some rest for recovery.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we battle. But they do a great job managing. I mean, even last year, making our run to the Elite Eight and Big 12 championship, our team GPA was a 3.7.
Wow.
And
wow.
So,
3.7.
3.7. So, really proud of them getting it done in the classroom and on the field.
That's terrific. It really is. All right, let's take a break. I want to have enough time to have a full segment when we come back. So we'll take a break, back with more in a moment. It's the Baylor Coaches Show. We're live at Rudy's. Coach Paul Johnson is with us, and we'll be right back after this, live from Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue. All right, Tripp. Thank you, sir. What time should we hit this last break to have like a minute and a half or two in the final segment? $55, okay. Yep, sounds good. 59-20. Gotcha. Thank you. So we'll hit the break at 55. You get anybody back? Is Cam still out?
Cam's out.
Yeah. How long?
Might be a little while. Who do we get back? I think everybody else is back.
Okay.
Because Taylor was back this week.
Okay.
Reagan's out for a red card. She had a red card, so she'll miss this game.
She had a red card?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
And that's the whole next match?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. We'll be all right. Next player up.
Yeah.
But having Taylor Moon's back.
Yeah.
Kaylee Abels is back. So some of the girls who haven't been here are now back.
Kaylee was the one I was thinking about. She's been out, right?
Yeah, she's been out. She came back. She was back this last weekend, so she's doing well.
30. Yeah.
So.
Wow. Nice to be full strength.
Yeah. At some point we
Yeah.
will be.
Yeah.
At some point we will be.
Yeah, because you weren't at the start of the year.
No.
Now you've
just
lost some
rotating
others.
through,
Wow. Welcome back live from Rudy's, our Baylor Coaches Show this evening. Appreciate our host here at Rudy's. And Coach Paul Johnson is with us talking Baylor soccer. A couple of big matches coming up this weekend. You see, if you're watching on television, some of the great crowd that we have here at Rudy's, and we appreciate everyone that is here or tuned in this evening for Coach Johnson. I don't want to get through our time without talking about the new surface you have, the pitch there at Betty Lou Mays Field. That was a major renovation. It's almost not fair to call it a renovation during the offseason.
Yeah, it was impressive to watch, honestly. I mean, they dug down about 3 feet and rebuilt from basically, obviously the ground up, but went down with a great subsurface. We had some issues with drainage and some sinking. The field had been there for over 20 years and really had nothing done to it from a subsurface level to help. But we obviously in the past couple of years have had some rainouts due to flooding on the field and some sinking issues that needed to be addressed so that we could keep our players safe and not lose practices and matches opportunities because of that. So Sports Field Solutions, who takes care of our field, went in and did a fantastic job. And even with some of the delays we had that thing ready for our second exhibition, which was great, and now it is second to none. It looks bigger, it feels bigger, but it's flat, it drains. It's one of the nicest pitches around now.
Wow.
Yep.
The drainage is a big thing. I mean, because of that, it's got a sand base under there, right? So when it stops raining, it'll drain right through, and you can get back out there and play.
Yeah, whereas before, I think it was definitely just sitting on clay. Yeah. So the clay would just hold it, and you would think being right next to the river that it would just drain right off, but it didn't. So having this crushed stone in there, some pea gravel, and then sand builds up that 3 feet up to the grass itself.
You've, to be honest, you've been pushing for this for several years. You knew you needed it, and great for Baylor Athletic Administration to finally say, all right, we're going to spend this money, and it is not an insignificant amount, to get this done for your program.
It's not, and I think our university does a great job of putting money where it needs to go and not wasting money and not doing things before they needed to be done. But also, when we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. And we're going to do it well, and that's another. There's another project that was just like that, just like our building a few years ago, and things that were absolute needs for our program. And playing surface is obviously necessary because we can't do what we do without it, and they did a great job with that.
All right, I know how coaches are. So you have the Williams building with your offices and locker room, which is just terrific.
Yes.
Now new pitch.
Right.
So what's next? What else do you need, or what would be on your wish list?
Well, like most coaches, we always have a list of things, right? And it's hard to feel like you're greedy. But there's some expansion to the field itself that we want to do. Mainly because we also use it for training purposes, so we want to expand that. New lights are probably coming soon, and I think long-term redoing the fan experience on the press box side is also in our midst coming.
And we have sort of temporary tents. The players are on your side of the field, the opposite side from the stands. What will that look like when it's completed?
Well, we took down the dugouts because it is, our next plan is to expand the field out. So we went ahead and had opportunity to take the dugouts out. So we did. The tents actually provide more shade than the dugouts did when that sun's coming down at 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. But, in the future, what will happen is if the fan side of things happen the way we want to, our players will come to the fan side of the field eventually.
Yeah.
So
just open on the other side?
We'll bring in some things to make it have a stadium feel to it.
Okay.
But that side will be open.
Oh, that's cool. That's a great plan. That really is.
Yeah.
All right. How about a question from the audience?
Sure.
For that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. This is from Scott Van Kelly, who is right over there.
Oh, we know Scott.
Yeah. Now you talk about being there early to make sure you get a scarf. Scott may be the first one there. Yeah, exactly.
He's probably going straight from here.
Maybe from here to Betty Lou. Scott says, and this is our First Place Foods Ask the Coach. First Place Foods, that's a darn good pickle. Scott says, what are the keys to having a good first half as well as shut down the top 2 goal scorers for us?
For USC.
For USC, I'm sorry, yes.
Yep. So Scott's obviously been watching our games.
Thanks for correcting me.
Yeah, well, we're here together.
Yes,
J-Mo,
we are. Thank you.
Scott's been watching our games. He knows the last couple of games we've not started games well, and so that has definitely been a focus of this week. Is hey, what do we need to do better to be ready minute 1? And because we've played some great minutes, we just haven't played 90 great minutes. So we've been focusing on that this week. What are the things we need to do? Some of it is pregame preparation. Some of it is before they get out there even, and some of it is, what are we doing in warm-up to make sure we're focused and ready to go. And then, the second half of your question there is, obviously they've got some great goal scorers. And I think if part 1 of that answer is where it needs to be, then part 2 of that question will be taken care of because you're doing the things you need to do to shut down players defensively. We're known as a defensive team. So if we're doing the things that we know how to do, that part should go very, very well.
Can I repeat the second part of that question?
Yes.
How do you shut down the top 2 goal scorers for USC?
Good. I don't want to shut down my own goal scorers because that's kind of what you're asking at first.
That's kind of what I said, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So thank you for that. We do,
Great question,
we do
Scott.
work together. Scott, thanks very much. Very good. It's not your handwriting. It's just my reading ability. So a week ago tonight, you hosted Arkansas.
Yes.
How tough was that with the delay? They had a travel delay. You didn't start till about 9:15. How tough was that on you?
Yeah, well, for me, it was probably tougher than it was on the girls because I really felt like 9, 10 o'clock is kind of the hour for the college students. So they're probably more awake then than maybe they are at 7 o'clock. But For us, it was just a matter of just pushing back our routine. We knew at 2 o'clock that it was probably going to happen because that's when they were supposed to leave, and their plane hadn't showed up yet.
Okay.
I'm not sure why they were traveling the day of the game.
That's another question for
they,
another show.
But they did, and we accommodated that. And I think, less of it had to do with, the timing of the game because, quite honestly, their schedule was way crazier than ours, having to, they were waiting for a flight, then they went home and then went back to the airport and then traveled and stepped out ready to play. And I think that's back to kind of Scott's question. We've got to be ready to play no matter what the circumstances are. We did a great job in Wyoming. We went out there and we were scheduled to play and a thunderstorm came through and they don't have lights. So if we didn't start by a certain time, we weren't going to be able to play the match. So we moved indoors into their indoor football facility that had soccer lines and played there. And our girls did a great job with that. So we know that they have resiliency. We know they know how to start matches. Now it's just about consistency.
Yeah. And that's totally different, isn't it, when you go indoors and you're on turf instead of being outside?
Yeah, because we don't train on turf.
Yeah.
We have the opportunity to our own football indoor if we need to, which is great to have that, but we prefer not to be on turf. So we're off of it a lot. The ball play, bounces differently, it rolls differently. So there's a lot of different things. And the field was very, very narrow too. But it was something our girls handled very, very well that day. So we know that we can do those things. We just have to kind of, for lack of a better phrase, check ourselves every time to make sure we're where we need to be ready to play.
All right, final question, answer in 30 seconds or less. What's the rest of the league look like so far with conference play right around the corner?
Well, I tell you what, the Big 12 is just every year it gets tighter and tighter and tougher and tougher. The teams that are at the bottom continue to rise, and the teams that, those of us that have been at the top the last 2 or 3 years continue to challenge as well. So it's a tough league. There's some great results going on right now. Teams are playing a great schedule, so everybody's going to be ready next week when Big 12 play starts.
It's right. It's here, isn't it?
It is here next week. Yeah.
It's great. Well, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Bet.
The new Baylor United green and gold looks good on you. Your uniforms look great.
They're sharp.
It really is.
Nike's done a great job with all that. We've been very happy as a soccer program with what they've been able to do for us.
Good. And the United is a real thing, so I can appreciate that.
Yes.
Thanks for being here. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Thanks,
Paul
everybody.
Jobson, Baylor soccer coach, Baylor and USC. It says it right there. USC. Second-ranked team in the nation. Friday at 6, then Gonzaga Sunday at 1. Back to look at the schedule and wrap things up. Our Baylor Coaches Show live from Rudy's, and we'll be right back after this. I couldn't read it.
What's wrong?
I don't know. It's not that hard. Would you sign in, please? Oh, yeah. Should I get Marcy to sign too? Marcy?
Is that Mulkey's area right
Yeah, I think, yeah. Go on this side, even things out a little bit, yeah, if you don't mind. Oh, there you go. Appreciate it.
Thank you, J-Mo.
Thanks, man. This was fun. Good luck. Yeah, good luck. Thanks, KP. Yeah. All right, what do you think time-wise coming back? Okay, that's perfect. Thank you. Okay. Yes, that's perfect. Thank you. Ty Beard. We'll have 1 minute when we come back before we wrap it, okay? Does he have graphics of the upcoming schedule? Hey, buddy, you got your flag? Back for the final segment. Wrap things up on tonight's Baylor Coaches Show. Appreciate you being with us. Let you know our next show will be October 10th. Put it on your schedule. October 10th will be the next time we gather here at Rudy's for a Baylor Coaches Show. Certainly you can come by and eat here at Rudy's anytime between now and then. Let's look at the upcoming schedule of events this weekend or into the next week. Baylor soccer versus Southern Cal, 6 p.m. on Friday. Baylor volleyball continues as they host the Baylor Classic this weekend. Baylor volleyball number 5 in the nation, undefeated, hosting another undefeated team, Missouri, at 6 p.m. Friday in the Farrell Center. Saturday, Baylor football on the road at Rice. We talked about that with Coach Frisman Jackson. And then Sunday, Baylor soccer versus Gonzaga, volleyball versus another undefeated team in 13th ranked Hawaii. That's at 2 p.m. in the Farrell Center on Sunday. We appreciate you being with us this evening. Thanks to Coach Frisman Jackson. Thanks to Coach Paul Jobson. Thanks very much for being here. And for now, good night from Rudy's. Did I jump the gun on you? Did I jump the gun on you?